I was born in the mid-'80s, so I spent my childhood and my early teens in the 90s. And maybe it's just me, but I feel a special connection, you know, like a nostalgia to the music from that era. I recognize so many of the tunes and I have so many favorites. And over time, I've noticed certain trends that guitar players from that time, they used or maybe even overused. And today I want to show you one of the most iconic ones. It revolves around a G chord, what I like to call the G chord trick. And I like this for two big reasons. One, it sounds really cool. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's just the nostalgia talking, but I think it's a really unique, cool sound. And two, from a technical standpoint, since you're keeping these two fingers down the entire time, it's great for practicing switching because you're only moving around two fingers and you can play like a ton of songs. You know, you can play anything that uses the most famous chord progression ever, G, D, E minor, C. You can play these chords instead, and that's a great way to get started focusing on the other stuff that makes music happen, you know, like rhythm and playing through an entire song. Now, when it comes to learning this concept, the first song that comes to mind is Green Day's Time of Your Life. And before you go post in the comments down below, I do know it's called Good Riddance, but most people think it's called Time of Your Life. Anyways, that song starts off with a G chord, and then it moves off into C add 9, which is like a colorful, airy version of C. But basically, we're playing G with our ring and pinky on the top two strings at the 3rd fret. My pinky's on the thinnest string, my ring finger's on the next thinnest string. I have my G chord, then I'm going to move my index and middle down one string, but my middle finger is resting underneath the thickest string. That's to help it avoid ringing out. We don't want that sound, so our middle finger is muting it. Even though it's pressing the 3rd fret of the A string, it's kind of a little higher than normal, so it mutes the thickest string. And before we dive into more of these shapes, because believe me, there's a ton of them, let's just stop right there and take advantage of these two, because you can do a lot with just G and C add 9. You know, we can just strum them back and forth. In that case, I'm using the most common strumming pattern ever. Down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. I'll put a link to my ebook down below. I have a free ebook, goes over all the basics. You know, if I'm going like a little too quick for you or anything like that, I do have all these bases covered, but I just have so much to show you, you know, so I am gonna kind of not go over every single detail. Anyways, I'm just strumming my G chord once and then C add 9 once, going back and forth between the two. That's the simplest way you can do this. But if you're maybe a bit further along, you could start picking out individual notes to add variety, you know? In that case, I'm doing the exact same strumming pattern, but on the upstrokes, on the and after 2, and the and after 3, I'll just highlight them right there. Instead of doing a full-on upstroke, I'm just picking the thinnest string and then the B string. And this is really cool because those two strings are the same in every shape. You know, if I switch to E minor, A7, it makes this recurring motif. That's what we would call it, you know, where we're just playing the same couple notes over and over again through the entire progression. And it kind of adds an extra layer. It adds some orchestration, you know, it turns it from like a chord progression into like a guitar part. Let's actually explore that concept a little bit further. We're gonna switch shapes here. I'm still gonna start on G, but then I'll go to E minor. And for that, all I have to do is move my middle finger under my index, but I gotta budge my index over a little bit to make room for my middle finger. And, you know, you can adjust your wrist, your elbow, whatever it takes to make those chords feel comfortable. And let's try something like this. So I'm strumming my chord on beat 1 to give me like kind of a backdrop. And then in the foreground, I'm picking those notes. Downstrokes only, nothing too fancy. And I just strum 1 and 2 and from there, to build on this even further, we can add some more chord shapes, you know, leaving down those 2 fingers the entire time and just kind of paying attention to our index and middle. We can make like an A7 sus4. We can make a D sus4, F6. You know, while it's useful to know the chord names, the focus should be on where your 2 fingers can reach and how these top 2 notes can be emphasized to create like a drone or a motif or some sort of musical thing, you know, like a melody. I feel like that's the key to that 90s vibe. You know, it's what you hear in songs like Wonderwall. Hand in My Pocket by Alanis Morissette, Plush by Stone Temple Pilots. You know, that like top note. In this case, I'm not doing the thinnest string, but I'm really getting that 3rd fret of the B string, and it just creates that drone at the top of the harmony, you know, that just really creates that sound. Just for practice sake, let's put a few of these together and really focus on those top 2 notes. So I'm doing the same thing where I just strum on beat 1 and then I play my notes on and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm going G, E minor, C, and then A7 sus4. And for that one, my index is on the 2nd fret of the D and my middle is under it on the 2nd fret of the G string. And when we do it like that, it works really great as like an intro or an instrumental part in the middle of the song. Strumming. You know, my whole idea with this is to take like a simple thing, you know, the G chord shape, and then just change one little thing about it. Add one little thing, change the picking, you know, and just step by step, incrementally, turn it from like something really, you know, plain and simple into something really cool. For reference, before we go, the common chords used very often, I'll just run through these. G, C add 9, where we just move our fingers up once. And then D sus4, where we move our fingers up, remove our middle. E minor. A7. There's also some more experimental ones like F6. So that's like the C, but I just moved it up one more. There's like this D sus over F sharp kind of chord. And that's like E minor, but you spread your fingers to the strings just outside. F major 7 or F major 13, I guess. B flat. You know, wherever your index and middle fingers can comfortably go, the sky's the limit. Explore the shapes, then you can explore the rhythm, focus on those notes, the droning notes at the top standing out, you know, and you have 3 variables that you can work on to kind of make up whatever, to express yourself and create your own thing on guitar. If you enjoy learning guitar with me, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. And while you're down there, you'll also see links to my premium courses, and those are designed to help you achieve your guitar goals in a systematic way, the same way that I lay out all my lessons, you know, but it's the whole blueprint for the whole thing. You're gonna be able to reach your goals a lot quicker that way. Everything is at goodguitarist.com. Have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.